Hello there, lovely people. It's Alex from Nintendo Life here, and if you know me, then you'll know that I've been rather pleased with a little game called Morphies Law. I've been chatting about it on Twitter, I've been mentioning it briefly in the community tab, which you should definitely check out because we're using it even more than we did before, because we didn't. And whilst it may be a little bit rough around the edges, I really enjoy it and I really like it. There's a lot of charm to it and it's got some really good implementation, which is what we're going to be talking about today, because Fortnite! Why? If you didn't see it, a while ago I did a video talking about Fortnite's motion controls on the Nintendo Switch, because it was a thing that they released and I was like, that's a cool idea. And then I tried it and I was like, this isn't very cool. I'm not going to go into huge detail about it because I already have done it in the previously mentioned video, but overall, it's just not good. It just feels like a very rushed implementation. It's almost as if they thought, hey, motion controls on the Switch. That's a popular thing, let's do that. And didn't really think any more than that and basically just threw in the most basic functionality possible. However, Morphies Law, a very small, very lovely little indie game that has, you know, a very small team behind it. I don't know exactly how many people, but it really isn't many, can somehow get exactly perfect motion controls in it, seemingly without trying. Honestly, you boot up the game and you go through the tutorial and by default, the game just has almost exactly Splatoon 2's motion controls. And they're perfect! I mean, yes, sometimes there's the drift issue that Splatoon 2 has, but if Nintendo can't do better, how is anyone else going to? Because they made the bloody thing. They even go so far as to disable the up and down, so the Y-axis on the right stick when you're using motion controls, because it stops you from desyncing. And even the same button, Y, is used to center. It is exactly the same as Splatoon 2. Even the menu, even the options, looks the same as Splatoon 2's. They are bloody lovely. So lovely. So why the hell aren't Fortnites? Now, of course, I understand that Morphies Law was originally made with the Switch in mind and it was built from the ground up for the Switch, so, you know, they probably thought about motion controls fairly early on and thought, yeah, you know, so they sort of managed to make the game around it. But they're still such a tiny team, and Fortnite, even though it wasn't made with the Switch in mind, has an enormous team, and if they spent all the time porting it to the Switch, did they not at some point think, motion controls? That'd be a good thing. Well, clearly they did, but that maybe not during the actual porting process. And so we're left with some of the jankiest, some of the laziest, in my opinion, motion controls. Of course, they could be fixed. There's nothing to say that it's set in stone and that they'll be terrible forever. They could be fixed tomorrow, for all I know. But as it stands right now, the Fortnite devs could learn a hell of a lot from the Morphies Law lot. And that's, I don't want to say embarrassing because it makes it sound like there's no talent with the Morphies Law team, but at the same time, you know, they are a small independent company versus the Goliath that is Fortnite. How do they not manage to do anywhere even close to the same kind of work? I'm not saying the Fortnite motion controls have to be exactly the same as Splatoon 2's or Morphies Law to be good. They don't, you know, there's loads of things they could do to just, you know, make it not seem to run at a low resolution. Basically, it's like blocky, it's like you're working on a grid, which is bad news. However, that's not to say that there isn't stuff that the Morphies Law team could learn from the Fortnite team as well, because, well, if you've played the game or if you've seen the video that I put up, you will know that the netcode could do with some work. It has improved since yesterday. I was playing it earlier today just to see if anything had changed, and it has. It seems that they've fixed a few issues here and there, but overall, it still needs some work. Fortnite's netcode is by no means perfect. You know, it's this huge open arena, so, you know, there are gonna be some things here and there, but it is so much smoother compared to Morphies Law. I'm guessing mainly it's down to a server thing, because I don't believe Morphies Law is running on servers, rather host and subjects? What's the term for the other people that join? And it's not fair to expect a smaller team to be able to live up to the expectations of a larger game with a lot more money and people behind it. But it doesn't work the other way. Fortnite, sort your motion controls out, for Christ's sake, do it! Quite a ranty video in the end. But anyway, thank you so much for watching. If you like this video, then why don't you that subscribe button, and be sure to check out nintendolife.com for all sorts of lovely Nintendo-related content. Thank you again for watching. Bye-bye. I am really running out of ideas for subscribe button quips.